What if the biggest thing holding you back isn't fear but avoidance? Avoidance doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It says, "I'll do it tomorrow. Now isn't the right time. I just need to feel ready first." And slowly, without you noticing, avoidance can shape your entire life. In this video, we're going to break down avoidance behavior in psychology, what it is, why the brain relies on it, how it fuels anxiety, depression, procrastination, addiction, and how to actually break the cycle. If you've ever avoided conversations, emotions, responsibilities, people, memories, or even yourself, this video is for you. Stay until the end, because the final section will give you a psychological framework therapists use to reverse avoidance. Avoidance behavior is any action taken to escape, suppress, or prevent discomfort. In psychology, avoidance is defined as a coping strategy where a person reduces distress by avoiding internal or external triggers. There are two main types. 1. Behavioral avoidance, avoiding people, avoiding tasks, avoiding places, avoiding responsibilities. 2. Experiential avoidance, avoiding thoughts, avoiding emotions, avoiding memories, avoiding bodily sensations. Most people think avoidance is a weakness. Psychology says something different. Avoidance is a short-term survival strategy that becomes a long-term problem. Your brain is not designed for happiness. It's designed for survival. When the brain detects threat, emotional or physical, it activates the amygdala. The amygdala asks only one question: how do we make this discomfort stop? Avoidance provides instant relief. That relief releases dopamine. This creates a powerful learning loop. Discomfort, avoidance, a relief, reinforcement, the brain learns. Avoidance works. And once learned, the brain repeats it automatically. This is why avoidance feels impossible to stop using willpower alone. Avoidance is the fuel of anxiety. In anxiety disorders, panic disorder, social anxiety, avoidance maintains fear. Every time you avoid, your brain never gets new evidence. The fear is never disproven. Avoidance says, "I survived because I avoided," instead of, "I survived because I was capable." This is why anxiety grows smaller worlds. Procrastination is emotional avoidance. You're not avoiding the task. You're avoiding fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of inadequacy, fear of discomfort. The task becomes symbolic. Avoidance temporarily protects self-esteem, but long-term, it erodes confidence. Depression creates avoidance. Avoidance deepens depression. This creates a feedback loop. Low energy avoidance, guilt, a lower energy depression isn't laziness. It's a nervous system locked in withdrawal. Avoidance becomes self-protection. Avoidance shows up as emotional shutdown, conflict avoidance, people-pleasing, avoidance protects from vulnerability, but intimacy requires discomfort. No discomfort, no depth. Addiction is avoidance with a chemical shortcut. Substances, scrolling, gaming, binge watching all reduce awareness. Avoidance numbs pain, but pain doesn't disappear. It waits. Evidence-based treatments, exposure therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, cognitive behavioral therapy, KIT. The goal is not comfort. The goal is capacity, learning, I can feel this and survive. Avoidance shrinks life. Approach expands it. Growth requires discomfort. Confidence comes after action, not before it. Avoidance is often confused with coping. Coping means facing reality while regulating distress. Avoidance means escaping reality to eliminate distress. Healthy coping expands tolerance. Avoidance reduces tolerance. For example, resting after burnout is coping. Sleeping all day to avoid life is avoidance. Avoidance feels like self-care, but functions like self-sabotage. Psychology identifies patterns of avoidance traits. The overthinker, the perfectionist, the people pleaser, the escapist, the emotional numb. Each personality uses avoidance differently. The perfectionist avoids starting. The people pleaser avoids saying no. The overthinker avoids deciding. Avoidance adapts to identity. Avoidance is learned. Children learn avoidance when emotions are punished, conflict is unsafe, mistakes lead to shame, needs are ignored, the nervous system adapts. Avoidance once protected you, but adult life requires new skills. Avoidance is closely linked to the freeze response. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Freeze leads to dissociation and shutdown. Avoidance becomes automatic. This is not weakness. It is nervous system overload. Phones are avoidance machines. Endless scrollin avoids. Boredom, loneliness, self-reflection, digital avoidance trains low frustration tolerance. Silence becomes threatening. Avoidance disconnects you from values. Life becomes about comfort, not meaning. You don't know what you want, only what you avoid. This leads to emptiness. Exposure means approaching fear gradually, not flooding, not forcing, approaching with consent and safety. Fear decreases through repetition. Avoidance keeps fear alive. ACT teaches, discomfort is allowed, values guide action. Feelings are passengers. You are the driver. Move toward what matters. Distress tolerance is trainable. Small exposures, cold showers, hard conversations, delayed gratification. Capacity grows through use. Do one avoided task daily, name the feeling, not the story, reduce reassurance, seeking schedule, discomfort, consistency beats intensity. Avoidance protects identity. Failure is avoided, but success is avoided too. Growth threatens old identities. Avoidance is understandable, but it is negotiable. You don't eliminate fear, you outgrow it. Approach builds courage. Courage builds freedom. Avoidance promises safety, but safety without growth becomes a cage. The brain confuses familiarity with safety. Even painful patterns feel safer than uncertainty. This is why people stay in. Toxic relationships, unfulfilling careers, emotional numbness. Avoidance says, at least I know what to expect. Growth says, I don't know who I'll become, and that's the risk. Avoidance is often driven by self-talk. The inner critic says, don't try. You'll fail. You'll be exposed. Avoidance silences the critic temporarily, but long-term the critic grows louder. Action weakens the inner critic. Inaction empowers it. Shame creates hiding. Hiding creates avoidance. Avoidance reinforces shame. This loop keeps people invisible. Healing shame requires exposure to compassion. Avoidance prevents corrective experiences. Approach is a skill. It is built, not discovered. Approach means acting before certainty, speaking before confidence, trying before readiness. Courage is not fearlessness. It is willingness. Willingness to feel, willingness to fail, willingness to grow. A meaningful life is not comfortable. It is aligned. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding that matters? What discomfort am I willing to choose? Avoidance-based lives shrink. Values-based lives expand. Avoidance is not your enemy. It is a signal. A signal pointing toward growth. Every avoided thing holds information. Face it gently. Face it repeatedly. And your nervous system will learn, I can handle this. If this video helped you understand yourself better, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be stuck in avoidance. Your life grows at the edge of what you're willing to face.